Nick Cannon made the news throughout the week due to his comments on his podcast, Cannon's Class, where he interviewed Richard Griffin, also known as Professor Griffin of Public Enemy. In the interview, Cannon claims would offend both white and Jewish people. After Cannon received backlash and his contract with Viacom CBS was terminated, he would decide to apologize. Well, the apology should have been the end of Nick Cannon's troubles, but things seemed to only escalate from there. Many fans who were in support of Nick withdrew their support because he apologized. TMZ caught up with Master P, who would also share his thoughts on why Cannon shouldn't have apologized. So we asked, is Nick Cannon now a sellout for apologizing? In the studio with me, I have our comedy analysts. We have Capone, we have Rita, and Pierre. But as you can see, we have a special guest who is also a comedy analyst as well as a laugh specialist, Mr. Rex Garvin. How are you?
Pretty well, thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you.
Legend, trust me.
Thank you, Pierre.
That's a legend over there. Real talk.
What is a laugh specialist? Before we dive in, what is a laugh specialist?
I've learned that through the years. What I do is connect with the personal laughter that resides within people. I don't go for the outward laugh, because I'm a personal hoot. I am funny, but not on stage anymore. I never was a comedian. I was a personality, and I was cute and I was sexy. And Pierre hated that about me because I was cute.
Competition was stiff, boy.
Yeah. But a laugh specialist is when you have the natural gift. And I had to learn that through drama, because now I do cooking, I do catering. I don't mess with the comedy stage, but I can talk about it because I was there at the beginning of it. I was at the beginning of white comedy and black comedy 30, 40 years ago. So I can talk about the flowers. So by me being a laugh specialist, I make people laugh in special ways, and I analyze comedy the way I do it.
I like it. Well, speaking of laughing, as we know, Nick Cannon, it's definitely not a laughing matter for him, and it hasn't been for others. What do we feel about Nick Cannon and everything that's going on, especially with him apologizing? I want to start with you, Pierre.
I'm glad he did it, because first of all, that Negro got 100 employees, okay? I get tired of so many brothers with making no money trying to make you lose your money, okay? So it's too many people out there talking about he shouldn't have apologized. First of all, why can we not apologize for stuff? Where's the problem for us to apologize? If we feel like we made a mistake or something, why do we feel that? Is it because somebody's gonna say, well, the Jewish people made him apologize? Well, we know Drew Brees apologized for what he said, for black people. And he apologized. When we accepted that, like, all right, Drew Brees, it's cool, you better apologize. But when a brother does it, it's totally bad. No, I'm so tired of us spending his money, telling what he should do. That man had a lot of pressure on him. He said something, he maybe felt he really didn't, it wasn't the way it came out. It maybe came out wrong. He might have said, look, I shouldn't have said it the way I said it. Right. And a lot of times we do that. Our mouth sometimes spews out something that our mind doesn't, didn't click with our mind first.
And you got to keep in mind too, he was on with Professor Griff. See, Griff makes that shit come out of you.
Man, Griff making $30,000 a year. He can do what he wants to and shit. Who he gonna hurt? Right. You know what I'm saying? He don't have a whole company. You got to think about that sometimes. And what is the purpose? Okay, let's say people mad, he apologized. What is he trying to accomplish by saying some old history shit? I mean, do you really think white folks gonna change their mind about how people think? Just like the black Jesus should be black or white. Once people think they think something, you can show pictures of black Jesus all over. White folks think he look like the picture we see, they see, and he's gonna stay like that.
All right, so I want to make sure we dive in. Rex, what are your thoughts? Do you think Nick Cannon is a sellout for apologizing?
Definitely not. You have to realize that when you're black, sorry, I know the millennials is taking over. There's a new vibe out here. There's a new movement. But you have to keep in mind, Jewish people, created show business. It's like the organ grinder and the monkey. We're coming out of the monkey phase. We're going to become the organ grinder very slowly, but you have to realize where you're at. Nick is rich, okay? But when you're rich, who's responsible for your richness? You got to answer to somebody. Yes, he should apologize. Yes, a lot of employees. Plus, when you're with Professor Griff, you're going to jump off on because Griff is a pure one. He's like a flashback of the last poets back in the 60s, Gil Scott, the dashikis, all that kind of shit. He don't eat pork, all that stuff. He's pure, 100% pure beef, no byproducts. When you get around Griff, he brings out that other revolutionary dashiki in you. And you can't bring out the dashiki when you're on Viacom's white people time. You gotta be very careful, okay? We don't have an all-black thing. Even in an all-black thing, you never know what other race may own that all-black thing. You gotta be very careful what's black. well, we black owned and operated. But then when you go to the source, when you go to Oz, it's Bernstein. Okay? So we have to be very careful of our opinions and our expression. And Nick wears his turban and stuff, and he's right there with us, but you wear the turban on their time. You gotta be very careful when you're on their time. He did a great move by apologizing, okay, because they own it, okay? And like you said, what's the problem with apologizing? You made a mistake. But when you get around Griff, you get pumped up because Griff has nothing to lose.
Exactly.
See, when you have something to lose, you're a little careful when you got a fan. Look what happened to Snoop. Big Daddy Snoop. When he told Gayle King, we're gonna come to your house, we after Kobe, we forgot about that. We were with him, like, damn, Gayle, that's cold-blooded. But Snoop had to realize the powers that be don't play. Snoop said, okay, wait a minute now. I do have a family. I have responsibilities. I'm in their thing. This is not public access. Okay, this is not cable on one of them off channels. You gotta be very careful when you say things. So we all, no matter who you are, how bad you are, thug, gang member, whoever you are, when you come to a certain platform for your conversation, you gotta look around because you're not what you used to be. You're on a whole nother level now. So there you have it.
And so what are your thoughts? Because some people may consider that a sellout, like so would you consider him
You're not selling out, you're being careful. It's business.
Some people.
Some people.
Some broke-ass people think he a sellout.
Right.
There ain't nobody out there with money or business consider him a sellout. Trust and believe.
That's right, Pierre.
Some nigga out there making $8 an hour at Walmart and shit, one tripping and shit. No disrespect to Walmart or $8 an hour.
All right, so speaking of ownership, so in the midst of all this, we kind of realized that he doesn't own Wild 'N Out. Are we surprised? Like, what are our thoughts? Capone, I know you're big on ownership. What are your thoughts on that?
I was very surprised. Very surprised, and I mean, it shocked me. It shocked me, especially in a time and age now where I don't know if it was created for him. I don't know if it was brought to him. I don't know, but to have that position and not have the stock in it, oh, I'm disappointed. Wow. Very disappointed.
What are your thoughts, Rex?
That's show business. You're gonna be shocked on a whole lot of other shit too. Okay? I mean, you never know who's behind the velvet rope. See, we only see the surface. You never know what's in the background. The Black Panthers, you know who was funding the Black Panthers back in the day? Jewish people. Yeah, it was a Jewish people. Right. I heard that. Right. So we gotta be you gotta know what time it is without the watch. Damn. You gotta do your research, man, and you'll be shocked. But always be prepared for the rude awakening. From Capone's heart, he said, man, I was shocked. But that's enough. You're gonna be shocked on a whole lot of other shit you're gonna learn about us. Okay? Even the toilet paper we use is the color white. Even the white is up our ass.
Damn, I didn't talk about that.
Okay.
They got black toilet paper?
You don't want it up your butt, do you? What? Black toilet paper, Pierre? No, you don't.
So I want the white in my ass. Damn.
Hey, sad but true.
Rita, what about you?
Yeah, what you want in your ass? White, black, what like what's going on here?
Were you surprised when we found that Nick Cannon does not own Wild 'N Out? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, it made my ass hurt when I but was I surprised? Absolutely not. Because if you look at the history of black people and intellectual property, we've been getting our shit stolen. People have been taking credit for our ideas or making all of the money while we get crumbs and change. So I was not surprised. I was not surprised at all. But I mean, I don't know if it's too late now because I'm reading about it and they're saying that it was unlikely that they would have given him a piece. He may have sold the idea to them, even though it was his, idea and he's a driving force behind it. Once you sell that shit off, that's it. You think about when I was watching the Clark sisters, one of the sisters had sold her whole music catalog for a Cadillac, and then somebody else takes those songs and makes all that money, and what you got? A damn Cadillac. So I was not surprised because that's just how it is a lot of times with black people. We get swindled out of our shit all the time.
But we had one smart black person. Michael Jackson bought the Beatles. He owned them.
Yeah, but look, they took it back.
Rita's right.
And Pierre, what are your thoughts, Pierre?
Wild 'N Out's been around how long? Maybe 15 years? Nick Cannon wasn't Nick Cannon who he is now 15 years ago. So he may not have the juice that y'all think he is. Just because a lot of times black folks think because we see the shininess, it's ours. Right. Your name is on something. Your name is on that. That doesn't happen like that. It doesn't always like that. So back in the time, he might not be able to get a deal unless he sold it or gave an idea to somebody. You understand where he was at? Y'all talking about now and all the years of work. You say, oh, I've seen all the years. Yeah, but when the deals first get started, you understand how you sign that deal at first? You might sign a deal for $5 and it goes for 20 years. You be like, man, I know you're rich. No, nigga, it was $5 I got. I got $5 every year. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it doesn't necessarily mean he owned it. That's why y'all surprised a lot of times when recording artists will have sell 500,000 copies and then they get dropped. You're like, what the hell? Because you don't understand the machine behind it. That's right. You know what I'm saying? You see the video, you think, oh, he living large. No, let me tell you, I've been on video sets before. And when they say cut with them rappers, they snatch them up like in cars from them, clothes, and you got jewelry off. Them girls are running off to their little, leaving off the set and shit. Like, it ain't all together? It ain't your mansion? No, come on, cut, roll it up, boom. And then they can ride right back to the little house in the hood or the little apartment in the hood. And we like, what? That video was dope. Yeah, we got to stop being fooled by that. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to do some education and see what's behind the, like you said, behind the curtain and stuff. A lot of times we don't own a lot of stuff we have. Very few we do. And when you find out somebody owns some shit that's black, support it. Support it. Remember that. Stop complaining about it. Support it.
Then some of our own people don't support it because it's black.
Capone, you look like you itching. What you itching?
I don't play the game. I don't play the game. I mean, selling your soul is one way. For somebody to control you is another.
But how you going to be in the game and not play it?
And you don't have to play it. You can create your own game. There's enough people to support you for you to have your own game. But to make me a star, do I have to be in every movie that they put out? Do I have to be in every television show? No. I created my own avenues. I go by my own rules. Hollywood has never picked me up or ever done anything for me, and I'm okay.
So you created your own game from the game?
Of course.
Okay.
Which the same thing I did. I mean, I produce my own stuff. I write, I produce, direct, and all that. I get that. But I also think, what is playing the game? What is the negative of playing the game? What is it?
It's a negative to have control because, for instance...
To not have control, you mean?
Yeah, for somebody to have control of you.
What's the control of you mean?
Nick Cannon apologizing because he don't want to lose his job.
Well, how about back in he might have made a mistake and realize what he said was. So that could be the apology. It's not about losing your job. It's because I made a mistake.
How many of us got shot down? How many of us got shot down and completely wiped out because they said, you know what, we have no use for you anymore?
It's two games. If you're straight or if you're willing to do anything. Ooh. See? Now, I'm 100% pure beef, straight, and I had a problem because when I was real cute, everybody was on me. A lot of download, okay, especially in Atlanta too. Right. Oh my God!
Well, yeah.
So that's a game too now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, hold on, just because you make it don't mean you're getting I mean, well, by man, whatever. It just doesn't mean that. It doesn't, I get don't do stuff that's way out of your character, like having sex with men if you don't do that, or saying you hate certain things. But no, it ain't always part of the game. Everybody made it ain't had sex with men, okay?
We don't know that.
Well, really?
Rita, they getting crazy. They getting crazy. Rita, what are your thoughts about what the game is? They're playing the game in Hollywood. They going crazy over here.
Yeah, I don't know. I ain't never been to Hollywood, so I can't tell you shit about Hollywood or the game. All I know is that sometimes it seems like they kind of chew you up and spit you out. You know what I'm saying? Like when you're high, they'll treat you high, and then if you happen to incur any kind of controversy, they'll spit you out. So it seems like a really hard thing to make it in Hollywood. But like the guys are saying, I hear all kind of shit about the things people have to do, threesomes. We see Harvey Weinstein, the things that ladies have to do to make it in the game. I'm not willing to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? Drugs and all that. I'm not willing to do all that. So if that's what I have to do to get famous, then fuck it, I'll never be famous.
I get that.
Me and Pierre ain't willing to do it either. That's why we here.
Right. I get not having sex like you don't want. I get that. But what happens if you don't do that? Is that the only way to play the game?
Let me ask you a question,
You
Pierre,
can
about
just be an actor and do some stuff and not play the game?
Let's talk about you in the early 90s. Okay, you're a light skin.
Yes.
And you were cute with curly hair. In the early 90s, how was it for you in LA when it come to did anybody approach you?
No. I can honestly say nope. I'm being honest with you. I know. Now, no. I've never been approached. I don't think my demeanor comes off like I like men, like in that way. In that way.
Has anybody ever offered you drugs?
Yes.
That's an approach. Yeah. That's approach for the next level. That's the approach. That's the setup.
Go ahead.
Get you in there,
right?
And then.
But everyone who makes it isn't on drugs or have male sex. So that's not the only way you can play. So you're not playing the game. Is just
certain people want to play that game, though.
It's a game.
So let me put this on the table then as we wrap up about Nick Cannon. So it seems like playing the game can definitely take a mental toll.
True.
And as you can see, it has on Nick Cannon. So
A mental toll.
Nick Cannon also went to social media talking about suicidal thoughts that he had, especially following like his friend who just passed away. So as we wrap up on Nick Cannon, what are our thoughts on like?
He wasn't gonna do it. He wasn't gonna do it. I love Nick. Nick ain't gonna do it. It was just a cry for help. He know better than that. He just felt. He never said the word, "I'm gonna want to commit suicide." He did all that vaguely, talking about leaving the earth and all whatever it was. But Nick's a strong man. He's just in a bad place right now, mentally and depressed. He'll get over. He got a good support system. I don't see him doing nothing like that. And I just think it was more of a cry for help or something that he wasn't gonna really do. To me, I don't know. I wasn't, in the house with him.
Rita, what about you? What are your thoughts? I know you actually mentioned it earlier.
I think we ought to start taking people seriously when they say they're thinking about committing suicide. Because Tamar Braxton almost succeeded this week. So that was 2 people. Tamar, Nick said he was dealing with it. There's a young lady named Jazz who used to write for This Is Us. She committed suicide earlier this year. So I think that we need to take it seriously. The roots, like what is happening in Hollywood where this man feels like he wants to take his life and leave his children behind, So I don't know. I have dealt with suicidal thoughts myself when I was at a place where I wasn't out the closet and I felt like I couldn't be myself, And so you get to this place where you're thinking about making a permanent decision when you're dealing with temporary issues, but you got to have a village, So like Pierre said, I'm glad that somebody was able to talk to him and talk him out of that. But you got to have a village to keep yourself mentally grounded because social media, these folks will eat you up. They'll eat you up on social media. Amanda Seales talked about the same thing. She had a nervous breakdown when she got kicked out of some Hollywood party. Social media is different. It's a different kind of pressure, and we don't know what people will do based on how they're feeling inside.
But Rita, did you voice your opinion while you had them suicidal thoughts to people? Did you go on stage talking about killing myself? Did you post stuff about you killing yourself? Did you post that kind of stuff?
No, I only talked to one person. I had the gun on the bed, but I'm a procrastinator, so I just never got around to doing the shit. But I only talked to one person when I had those thoughts. I talked about it on stage afterwards, I talk about it now. But I felt really low, and I didn't want to talk to nobody about it.
I feel like a lot, and again, I don't know everything, but I feel like people who commit suicide don't normally talk about it to people saying, I'm about to commit suicide, I think I'm going to kill myself, Those people are looking more for attention. Just to me, usually people like, what's her name, did she go around posting that she was going to kill herself before she committed suicide? No. So a lot of people do that internally. So with Nick speaking like that, I don't know if he was going to really do that. That's my look at it. The people I normally commit suicide, you're like, damn, I didn't know he was going to do that. Damn, I'm surprised. Because they weren't voicing it every time. They might have had a personality like that, sad, quiet, whatever. But Nick's saying that kind of stuff. So I think that's more, a cry for help. Just my thing.
What about you, Capone?
I think he was serious. I just can't, we don't know the pressures that he's being put under. He might have said it. Different people have different ways of expressing. I mean, yeah, he could be looking for attention, but there's a lot of ways to look for attention instead of saying, I'm going to kill myself. And to say it, sometimes, like Rita said, we have to take that seriously. I ain't never thought about killing myself. I've been through hell and high water, but I have the type of personality that says, you know what? Slaves made it. We done all kinds of shit that hurt us. We got to keep going. So my thought process is totally different. But if I hear somebody saying it, I take it 100% serious.
Did he say he's going to commit suicide? I don't think he said it ever. I think he said something like, I think you're kind of vague about this world is not good. Or take my, yeah, he didn't say, I'm going to kill myself.
Dark contemplation. Yes, what he said. He said he had a dark contemplation where he was thinking about it. And Tamar, she wrote a letter, but they didn't find the letter till after the fact where she was talking about being a slave to the white man. Right. So once again, there's that recurring theme of people dealing with stuff in Hollywood, and they feel like they want to take their lives.
And then Rex, let's close out with you. What are your thoughts?
Everybody here is making a fantastic point. I have to go with Pierre. When people talk about suicide, it is like, I want attention, because people that's going to commit suicide are very quiet. They just go ahead and do it. They don't tell nobody because they don't want nobody to know. So when you do put it out there, you're seeking help. And that's an indirect way saying, I need help. So, but Nick is in a good place, and I think the variety of conversations he's getting for his support is going to help him too. There's a lot of people that's with him, and I think the people that's with him is going to help him cope with a lot of things.
Did he need help before he got fired? Did he talk about suicide before he got fired?
No, but a lot of heavy stuff has happened since then. They've been calling him all kind of names, sell out. You know, he wasn't hearing it as much. He probably, was called a couple names here and there, but it was heavy on social media, and that can mess with anybody's mind, man. Anybody's mind. Be called all kind of names and stuff. I'm just happy it hasn't happened. I hope it never happens with Nick. He's a good young brother. He's employs a lot of people. I think, hey, let's get past this apology thing and let's focus on him getting better as a person, his company's running, and us changing in another way of trying to get things that he was talking about resolved.
It was recently announced that Netflix was denied its motion to dismiss the case against Monique when it came to the race and gender bias. Monique argued Netflix failed to honor common Hollywood practice of negotiating an opening offer in good faith. Netflix tried to convince the courts that shutting down good faith negotiations is not retaliation under the law, even though she raised concerns about pay discrimination. The judge, however, disagreed. So what are our reactions to Monique's case moving forward? Pierre, I'm gonna start with you.
Start with me.
I'm gonna start with you, Pierre.
More power to the sister. I'm happy that it's going in her favor. I'm not gonna get into how much she's worth. She has to make that choice because I may say she's worth $100 million. You might say, easy, Negro. I'm only worth $6 million. So it's up to her. But if that is the case, good faith negotiation, and that's what a rule across the table, and they didn't honor that, Netflix, then I see her gripe. I always say ask for a little more. I didn't do it here at Comedy Hype because I knew they couldn't afford no more, but I took what they gave me because I want to be in business with them. No, I'm happy to be here. But sometimes you should, I get the negotiation thing, and I have no problem with her, and I'm happy that it's going forward. Maybe it's going to change something in the future for other comedians trying to get deals and negotiate and so forth. So maybe Netflix can't just say, this is the money, that's all we're going to pay you, and we ain't going to talk to you no more.
Rita, what about you? What are your reactions to that?
Thank you, Pierre. Thank you for saying that because that's all it is, in my opinion. Folks are worrying about the how when they should be worrying about the what. The what is she's suing for gender discrimination and racial bias, and it's all about equal pay. You can look up any stat on the internet, and it will show you that black women are underpaid in comparison to black men even, or white men, or white women. The fact that you can name all the black faces of comedy, all the black women in comedy, you can name them. Wanda Sykes, Whoopi Goldberg, Tiffany Haddish, Lonnie Love, Kim Whitley. You can't name them other ones because the white ones because they get all the damn opportunities. The fact that we can name all the black female comedians is a problem. That means only a few of us are getting opportunities. So I support Monique. Her biggest thing was, and the judge said, Netflix did not allow for a renegotiation for the opening offer. Amy Schumer, she was allowed to renegotiate and she got more money. So yes, I support Monique and I hope she gets a little something. I don't know if she will, but it is setting a precedent for young comedians like myself.
Absolutely. And Capone, what are your thoughts on
I'm really happy she took a stand. Both of y'all opinions made me think because my thought process was I'm giving you $500,000 if you take it or you don't. That's what I'm saying. Regardless of what you think you're worth, this is what I got to offer. And if you say no, all right, then go somewhere else. But I didn't know the part about the female gender thing and all of that other stuff. So, I support her 100%, but 500,000 can turn into a whole lot of millions if you finagle it right.
And Brex, what are your thoughts on it?
Being black is a 24-hour job with no lunch breaks. Okay? We've been complaining for 400 years about we don't do this, we don't do that. Meanwhile, everybody has a valid point. Who are the powers that be behind Netflix? Who are they? I'm not going to say what color they are, but who are they? When you mention the word Monique, it's almost like a black thing. So they gave a black offering. You can't compare that to Amy Jewish Schumer, who can renegotiate, do everything she wants. She's still Monique in the powers that be concept. Now, is everybody right about black women being underpaid? True, but I go with Capone, 100% with Capone. Give me that $500,000. Yes, give me that. Because after you prove your worth and your material, when the powers that be, and Netflix see what you do, then they say, wow, check out what she's doing. We'll give her more. Because she's still Monique. It's still the Parkers. See, even though the people in LA and Hollywood, they don't really know about the depth of blackness and the following that she has when it comes to black shows. Because she don't have that name. Now, Wanda Sykes, totally different level. Because she's more on another level with the white audience. But Monique is really a black act.
But why do black people have to take the first offer? Right. Why is that? Whatever you give me, I got to take it? Why can't I say, hold on, let me negotiate? So I see you saying she should have took it, but she shouldn't negotiate. Rex, you negotiate stuff. You're a hell of a comedian and caterer in Denver. You negotiate price, right? When you negotiate a price situation, someone says, I got this, well, hold on, I need this, I need that, I need that. Or you say, whatever you offer me, I'll take it?
No. It depends on your mind state at that time.
Well, okay, her mind state might not have been a negotiating mind state. When yours, you get to have a negotiating mind state sometimes. Let her have one.
But I did say I agree with everybody here.
Well, you agree. You ain't say me for you. You said Capone there. Y'all need my name mentioned too. Shit.
You know, okay, light-skinned butt.
All right. What's the next?
Kanye West held his first rally as presidential candidate this past weekend in North Charleston, South Carolina. It didn't take long for Kanye's words to become the trending topic. He said, Harriet Tubman never actually freed the slaves. She just had the slaves go work for other white people. After that was said, he got a lot of energy from all sides. Many have asked, what is going on with Kanye? Or they wondered why his family and friends haven't gotten involved. It's also been reported that Kim Kardashian is upset with Kanye after he revealed that Kim almost had an abortion when she found out she was pregnant with their first child, North. It seems that even Kanye's own family is struggling to come to terms with his recent behavior. So if Kanye's own family can't help him, where does that leave us? What are your thoughts on Kanye's latest statements as well as his behaviors? Rita, I want to start with you. What are your thoughts?
Oh man, so I got a chance to watch the rally that he did, his presidential rally, and it was the saddest shit I ever saw. I mean, and I y'all laughing. I mean that sincerely. From an emotional standpoint, it was hard to watch. At one point, he was angry with people. At another point, he was sincere. Then he broke out crying. I'm like, this man, it seems like he needs a therapist, he needs a diary, and he needs a better village. But I want him to stop making irresponsible ass comments, because once you put that shit out there, you can't take it back. You know, what he said about Harriet Tubman was absolutely disrespectful. Now you got her family coming to her defense, basically saying, you know, Kanye would still be on the plantation if it were not for Harriet. We should not be having to defend Harriet Tubman from another black man. Like, you are letting other people do the work for you. You know, when you have white supremacists championing you, you fighting the wrong fight, bruh. And it seems like this downward spiral happened after his mom passed in 2007. Because before that, he was like George Bush, don't care about black people. Then after his mom died, it seems like it was a complete shift. You know, he blamed himself for his mom's death because his career led her to Los Angeles, and then the reason she died was because of botched surgery. At one point, he was going to do a new album and have the surgeon who did his mom's surgery be on the album. It seems like he hasn't grieved that yet. So he needs a better village to help him. He also said he was a functioning alcoholic at one point, and nobody in his camp said anything, you know? So he needs a better village. I'm not giving up on him, but I do wish he would stop saying irresponsible shit.
Capone, what are your thoughts?
The last thing you said, if his family can't do nothing, what does it leave us? Why do we have to take responsibility for his actions? This celebrity thing is just going too far. And we are forgetting about human. We're forgetting about everything. I mean, yes, there's a lot of pressure as far as him trying to get the next hot album out, or if he doesn't do this, but for us to actually, I mean, I got a cousin that's a little mentally needs help. Ain't nobody talking about him, ain't nobody whatever. So it ain't up to us to fix Kanye, it's up to Kanye and whoever loves Kanye to fix him. We're putting too much pressure on ourselves for celebrities that we don't need to be doing that. That's just the way I feel about it.
What about you, Pierre?
We are enjoying the nutty nigger syndrome. That's what it is. He's a nutty nigger. That's what he is. He's just a nutty nigger. That's a talented guy. His talent is why we're even talking about him. Okay, his talent is keeping him. If he wasn't a talented musician, he'd be out of here. We wouldn't deal with that. People wouldn't deal with that. So that's keeping him afloat to even have a conversation about him. He does a lot of erratic things. He's an artist. He's an erratic artist. Why are we surprised? I don't know why. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised anything he did. Anything. God bless. Anything he would do, I wouldn't be surprised. But we keep trying to feed and wonder why he thinks this and why that. Why are we wondering that? Why do we keep putting him in the forefront and caring about this situation so much? Sure, we don't want to see a black man spiral out of control. Hey, I don't want to see anybody spiral, especially a black man, an artist who gives us joy in his music. But we got to be face to fact. He is a mentally unbalanced individual, very unbalanced. So, like Capone said, he has family that need to grab him and control him. I feel like he has a house full of people who are afraid of him. And just at the end of the day, his statements were very off kill. It just for the fact of pride that black people have for a Harriet Tubman to say, hey man, we got a sister that helped a lot of people get free, and you just kind of diminish that shit with your quick crazy ass statement and stuff. And then he says, and then what bothered me was sometimes I notice people in some of those blogs and so forth agree with him. I'm like, motherfucker, you about to give Trump another presidency. So if you're fine with, if you down with Kanye, your ass about to give him another presidency. I think Chappelle just came through and went to talk to him. I think they're friends, and I think Chappelle's he's sincerely trying to help him out. I'm quite sure Chappelle ain't behind him for his presidency, but his mentality, people are trying to come around this guy, and this guy's just a loose wire, man. At the end of the day, I love him as a talent, but as an individual, nah, man. I mean, come on, dude. I don't mind you acting crazy for yourself, but when you're putting black people out there in certain situations, making white folks sit back there laughing and looking at this fool, it's not a good look. It's just not a good look to me.
Rex, what about you? What are your thoughts?
I want to say I love this panel of stimulating, thought-provoking thoughts. Rita, Capone, Pierre, this is the best. Kanye is a brilliant nutcase. He's brilliant, and there's an art to the game. Keep in mind, there's one person that opened the door to insanity. That was Trump. Trump has started a frequency of some unique energy. When Trump came in, he did everything not to come in. Talk about grabbing women by the you-know-what, doing this, doing that, and he still made it to the Oval Office. Kanye is the continuation of the insanity. Okay, people are like this. If Trump can do it, imagine what I can do. Kanye's not dumb. He's using his celebrity to the highest point. Like Rita said, he said some crazy shit at the rally. That's what Kanye does. He's following the tradition of Trump got into office. Who knew Andrew Dice Clay / Trump would get into office? Trump and Andrew Dice Clay are the same people. Trump would roast people. He told Rosie O'Donnell, look at your forehead, look at you. He was slamming. Trump came in cracking on people. People ain't never got over that. We're operating from a mind blow. See, ever since Trump got in, our minds have been fucked up ever since. We ain't been right. Rita made a good point. When Kanye's mom died, that did some deep stuff to him. He was drinking, he was doing other kind of shit, but then he married the Kardashians. That ain't no help. Damn. Kanye needs to go visit an old lady in Mississippi named Big Mama. He needs to go way out in the country and get around some old black women and say, baby, it's okay. He need to be around his elders. He need to be around black women over 80 years old who've been there, done that, so they can calm his nutty ass down. Okay? He don't need Dr. Phil, because Dr. Phil's a celebrity. He needs a real therapist, as in grandma. He needs an auntie, Auntie Gertrude. You don't see those names no more. Aunt Hat, Miss Vic,
Ethel,
Miss Hattie Mae. He needs Hattie Mae and Ethel. He needs elder black women in his life. Kanye, maybe he wasn't burped as a baby. Maybe he wasn't breastfed. So you never know what triggers somebody off. But Kanye is using the art of show business to the fullest. I say don't take it that deep. He's Kanye. It's another day in show business.
Well, Kanye, we will keep you in our thoughts.
She will.
Prayers.
I will too.
Look, man, we're gonna touch it again, man. All right, guys. So as we wrap up, I'd like to know what's going on, how things are going. Capone, I want to start with you. How are things going? And if you have something new, let us.
Well, I'm happy to still be a part of this show. The show is getting big, and I know it because people are calling me and asking me what it's about and how did this start. So that's a good feeling. The movie, we're still shooting Traffic Lane. My construction company with Lance Smith is still doing great. And get ready to go out and buy some more houses.
Come on the ship. Talk about it, be about it.
What you doing, Rex? Yeah.
Thank you, Pia, for asking. I'm making hot wings for white women. No, I'm sorry. Nah, man, I got my book coming out, Cold Funk, in the Comedy Act Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, man. Stories about the Comedy Act here. Comedy Hype has given me a new life. Comedy analyst, I'm going to be doing work with Comedy Hype, praise God, and you're going to see a new version of what I do. And I got to say, God is good in many ways. God is good. And just get ready for Rex, the laugh specialist, the feel-good therapist, the true to form funk prophet, uncut from scratch, no stage gimmicks.
You heard him?
That should have ended with a shake it down now.
Pierre, you gassed up now? Can you follow?
I can follow that shit right there. That ain't no construction and shit. Ain't no a lot of money in that. This nigga just got on here, so I feel all right. That's my man right there. I'm glad you came through, but for real talk, I'm glad you came through, man. A good dude. I'm still dropping my podcast. Comes out. Pierre's Panic Room will come out in August, beginning of August. So check it out on YouTube and Spotify and so forth. And I'm getting some phone calls for some shows. I'm still in the quandary of saying, okay, luckily some of the shows are a couple months away because, with the COVID, it's still real. Don't know how that's really flowing on stages and stuff. I popped up here and there in some comedy clubs to see what it is. I'm thankful for those who come out and want to support comedy. I know some people are angry about that, for those who come out. But those who come out and support, I appreciate that. And I'll probably start hitting the road, sparingly, but I'll get out there real, in the near future.
Okay. Well, we look forward to it. And last but not least, Miss Rita. Yes. How's everything going? What you got coming up?
All right, yeah. So I ain't doing no movies and shit like Capone, but if you need, somebody on set, I'm available. But no, I'm just keeping it low key. I am gonna be at the Comedy Jump. It's a new comedy club in Memphis. A friend of mine, Latoya Polk, just started it, and she wanted to have all women headliners, which is dope. So I'll be one of them. That's July 24th and 25th. I still got a special that's streaming. It's called Sip on This Tea, SIPP on This Tea. You can get it on all platforms. I got new merch coming as well, so check out my website, ritabrent.com. Otherwise, just keep tuning in to Comedy Hype, man. We tell the truth.
Absolutely. All right, well, you heard us talk about Kanye, you heard us talk about Monique, you heard us talk about Nick Cannon, all who are considered some type of outspoken, but now we want to hear from you. Let us know down in the comments below, what are your thoughts? With Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.